Anything that is not adding value to your life, that you are not adding value to, is dead. That's me. Anything that does not add value, if it's not a contributing factor to helping you grow and get to the next level, you're dead, you're done.
Empower You podcast is devoted to bringing real-world wisdom and encouragement to our listeners. We discuss a multitude of life principles and the process from an economic, cultural, and societal perspective. We believe that through tough conversations and shared wisdom, we can pave the path and leave a ladder for the future. Subscribe to our channel and let us empower you. Welcome to Empower You podcast. My name is Kidboy Cooper, and I am so glad that you are here. I hope y'all are doing really well today. We have an awesome topic and a fantastic guest for y'all today. So what we're going to be talking about today is burying the dead and healing. So a lot of times what happens is we all go through things in life, right? Traumas, situations, stuff that sometimes you would rather not talk about or that you have to overcome. And we have to learn to separate ourselves from that in order to overcome. We can't just take all that trauma everywhere we go. We have to bury it. We have to transcend those moments. And so we have with us, talking about this fantastic topic, a really special person. If you all follow the No Excuse Club, No Excuse Today Club, then you know her as Javon Stewart. But I think she's really, really special. And she's taken some time to be here with us today. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about her, and then I'll let her introduce herself. So Javon Stewart is a motivational speaker. She's an entrepreneur. She's a certified behavioral coach, certified in the DISC assessment. She is also the founder of the No Excuse Today LLC, which is a personal development company that's centered around consulting, advising, and apparel that reinforces the mindset of No Excuse Today. We are so blessed and happy to have you with us. You are such a huge personality online, and I'm just I'm a little starstruck. Javon, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kidway? Thank you so much for having me. I can't. You're starstruck. I don't know. Now I'm blushing.
That's awesome. Listen, I think what you're doing is so awesome. You just leave a huge mark every single time, just as far as myself following you on social media, but then also just following some of the work that you've done and the people that you interact with. It's very inspiring. And so because you teach leadership, because you teach consulting, because you are a behavioral coach and you help people understand how to be excellent, which is not always just about, how you perceive yourself, but you have to really embody it in a way that you just make seem so fluid. And so I'm hyped to have you here. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm super duper excited.
Yeah. So
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about No Excuses Today and why you started that company.
So No Excuse Today without the S. I got to train my people out here because, so many people say excuses, but it's all good.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for, because No Excuse Today is all about being in the present, being in the now. We're not talking about yesterday or the future. We're talking about now. That's why there is no S on the end of excuse. And that was very, very deliberate. Very deliberate. Sorry about that.
Are you good?
And okay, so No Excuse Today actually was born in June 2020. So that's when No Excuse Today was birthed. So it's not even a year old.
Oh, wow. You were
Yes.
massive though. I mean, I'm highly impressed.
I know a lot of people are like, we thought you were around. No, it's just when God is in the mix of stuff,
That's right.
it just really flows. And so to God be the glory, honestly,
Absolutely.
forever and ever, because this is not really my idea. It's a God idea. And it's a message that I actually get to further. And so
Yeah.
that he put me to lead. And so yeah, so I'm super duper excited to lead the No Excuse Today. Is more like a movement almost,
Oh
and
yeah.
we here to stay.
I love it.
Yes,
Nice. Oh man, that's great. That's great. You said it's a God mission.
yes, yeah. No, because No Excuse Today, it applies to so many different areas of life. And right now, my focus is on leadership and soft skills training, but No Excuse Today could pretty much be applied in any of life's circumstances, whether it's health, whether it's to combat racism, whether it's to, again, combat injustice. No Excuse Today can be used for so many different things. And it can mean so many different things to different people. And so I use it quite often here in the household when the kids try to make excuses. No excuse today. We got food to burn. And it can be applied and used to any situation. It's whatever is appropriate for that moment. No excuse today.
That's nice. That is I gotta work on that. I'm very driven, but sometimes I feel like anything can become an excuse. So you don't
Yeah,
never know where to draw the line. Is this a
it
real
can.
thing or am I just making an excuse?
Because sometimes we do make excuses. Now, I'm no fool. We do make excuses. Sometimes it's fear that holds us back, where we may make an excuse. It just may be our own limitations in our mind where we make excuses. But if you keep in the forefront of your mind, no excuse today. That's why I wear it all the time, because
Mhm.
it does something to when you go to make an excuse. It's something that triggers and say no excuse today. It
That's
happens
right.
to me all the time when I want to delay washing the dishes, or if I want to delay doing laundry, if I want to delay, no excuse today pops up. And that's why I wear it all the time. So I can remind myself to stop making excuses, because I was the queen of excuses. So,
Isn't that
which is
interesting
like,
though? How you
yes,
can take
yes,
something that was a real burden for you and turn it into
yeah,
deliverance for somebody else.
yes,
That's
yes.
powerful. That's
And
powerful.
so I wear it all the time. It's primarily the reason why I wear it is to take away the excuse of why I can't show up on social media.
Ooh.
So I made the decision to say, you know what? I am going to wear the same thing over and over and over again. And that way it eliminates the excuse. Well, I have nothing to wear. And they saw that I had that on last time. Nope. I don't care if you saw that I had this black t-shirt on 5 days in a row. I don't care, because I have to put something out into the world, and it eliminated that excuse. And I don't have to really shop as much. I just wear my merch.
Listen, when I tell you that is
You
such
know?
so real because I wear this hoodie all the time and this hat
Yeah.
all the time, and people ask me, oh, what was is that your? I'm guessing this is your brand. I'm like, yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then when I
Yeah.
go to talk to people about coming on the show, they already are familiar with it. I was talking to a
Mhm.
restaurant owner here in town who just opened up a new place. It's really dope, and he recognized my brand, everything right away, and we got linked up, and I was already writing him an email while I was sitting over there, having some dinner because I knew I was going to talk to him. So as soon as he came over to check on me, it was just you live what you preach when you wear it all the
Yes.
time. You are that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it reminds you to stand up straight and to conduct yourself and to not make excuses or to not,
That
represent yourself well.
that's the truth. I gotta wear it to keep me. I remember a long time ago. I don't know who said it, but somebody said, if you're not wearing your stuff, how do you expect other people to wear it? Or how,
Hmm.
and this is something that I wholeheartedly believe in, but I eliminated an excuse as to why I can't show up for other people. And sometimes clothing can be an excuse for people as to why they don't show up, just by, if their hair is not done, if their nails are not done, if they, I even went to the, let me tell you how cold I am. Okay. I knew that makeup actually looks aesthetically pleasing on camera if I just did, my regular face. And I've always wanted to learn how to apply makeup. And it wasn't until last year that I decided to invest, to have a makeup artist show me how to put on makeup, something that I could simply do every single day. And whenever I wanted to turn on the camera, I could do it myself to eliminate that excuse. And then I don't have to pay a makeup artist to beat my face every time. I can just learn how to do it myself. And it's just those little simple things can make a huge difference in somebody's life. And so that's what I did. And I eliminated the excuse. So I have no excuse, because now I know how to do my makeup. I know how to go select, the makeup. And if I want to get cute and fly real quick, under 20 minutes, I can do that.
That is amazing. Well, listen,
Yeah,
you seem like you're doing it real, real well. Every time I see you on social media, you look ready, ready.
yeah,
So,
like it be like real quick, and I try to make it look as natural as I possibly can. I don't gotta do too much. I didn't need
listen.
much, but makeup do give it a little something, a little special to it.
That's awesome. So in furthering the conversation, about, overcoming things and not making excuses. Our topic is talking about burying the dead, right? And the dead is
Mhm.
metaphorical. So if anybody is, think we talk about putting humans in the ground, that's not what we talking about. We're talking about,
Exactly.
the excuses, right? Which are often dead ideas about yourself or about something, that you continue to perpetuate, and you use them as excuses, right? I can't do this cuz, I can't do this cuz, or whatever it is. And so your brand especially is very interesting because I feel like it is one that you have to be very cognizant of the weight that you're carrying if you're not going to make excuses. If you're going to
Mhm.
be very vigilant about not making excuses, it forces you into a mind state of being very aware, at least for myself. When I'm really on
Yeah.
it, I have to be very conscious. Like, okay, why are you feeling like this, kid boy? It's because this or that. And you're like, oh my God. But it forces you to be transparent with yourself. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So where did you start with this? What about your childhood or your early life, or was it just 2020 that started this work for you?
No, well, 2020 was that's when it actually materialized. My speaking coach, Jeremy Anderson, shout out to Next Level Speakers Academy. When I enrolled in his course, he asked me, along with other speakers, a very, very intimate, thought-provoking question when we did our one-on-ones with him. And the question was, what do you want to be known for? And so that made me think, and that literally made me reflect over my life. What do I really want to be known for? What legacy do I want to leave? And that is no excuse today, that I did not make excuses as to why I couldn't accomplish or do things in my life. And that's how I pretty much led my life. So if we go back to childhood, the way I grew up is very, you know, peculiar in some sense. I grew up in foster care. I was a foster kid for 11 years of my life before I was adopted at the age of 16. And so I didn't know how to make excuses, because I didn't have time to make excuses. How about that, should I say? Because you're plucked out of your, family life. Your life is disrupted by drugs and poverty. And so as a young kid, I had to learn how to pivot and adapt really quickly to ever changing environments. And that actually, when I was reflecting back on what I wanted to be known for, I want to say it really stemmed from childhood where I didn't have time to make excuses. Life didn't, blow after blow, can't make an excuse as to why you can't move forward. And so I just learned how to take those punches, get back up, and just turn them into something flipping phenomenal. And that's where I'm here today.
Wow. Wow. So you started in foster care and
Yeah.
developed resilience, tenacity towards the things that you
Yes.
were going through.
Yes. Very
Wow.
quickly. So that is what makes me, just a side note, in my consulting, advising, that's why I'm able to solve problems
Right.
as quickly as I can, because
You lived
I've
it.
dealt with a lot of hardships, and I've been doing this since I was a little kid, and I know how to go with the flow. Um, and I know how to adapt very quickly to whatever the circumstance may be. And so that's why I can excel in the area that I'm at, because I've had so much experience since my youth.
Wow. That is definitely a calling. And as much as we think, we're adaptable creatures, I think some of us are not. I think it's very special to be able to truly adapt on the fly and deal with
Yeah.
change at a high rate of speed and
Yeah.
frequency. That is not something that's easily done.
No.
So that's incredible that that you do that. So
And to not break under pressure. That's the other thing. Like, you have to be able to adapt, and you can't be able to break or fold under pressure. And that's one of the key attributes that I've learned throughout the years, uh, which makes me who I am today. Like, you could throw anything at me, and it's not gonna stick. It's not gonna break me. It's mental. It's all mental.
mm, oh wow, that's amazing. You're really cool. Um so question,
Yeah.
what do you think of when you hear the term bury the dead? You talked about
What do
being unbreakable, Um for myself, I don't know that I feel like I'm unbreakable, but I do feel like I'm always getting stronger and more resilient based off of the things that I go through, but I also am very aware of some of the old things that I carry. So I'm interested to hear how you would interpret um, the the topic that we're talking about. I think that's going to be very interesting.
if immediately when I hear the term bury the dead, I think biblical terms. And so I'm thinking that your responsibility to your higher calling is greater than anything else. So let the dead bury the dead. If anybody's familiar with that Luke chapter where one of the disciples said, "I gotta go bury, my daddy," and Jesus was like, "Let the dead bury the dead. Look, we got stuff to do." Okay, so that's where my mind actually goes. That there is something greater. There's a higher calling, a higher responsibility that you're called to, and so don't worry about those trivial things. So
Mm,
leave that there and focus on what's truly important. And for me, that is advancing the kingdom of God in my own quirky, unique, the way God has called me to.
right. Okay. Okay. Mm. You said let the dead bury the dead.
Yeah, we don't. I
Who?
often, yeah, it's there is there's an Old Testament story, and I please forgive me, Bible scholars, don't give me, but there's a story in the Old Testament. Somebody's wife had died, and they had to get back up the next day and keep it moving. That's let the dead bury the dead to me.
Yeah.
That we don't sit, we don't mourn. We there's stuff that has to be done.
Who would you classify as being dead? How would you define being dead?
Ooh, that's a good one. So
Well,
Anybody.
I think that's so compelling because we got to identify things because we get caught
Mhm.
up giving things life, which could just be the reflection of ourselves thinking about it or feeling it. When in reality, it's not even alive. You're
Yeah.
making it something because of the energy you're giving it. So, how do we identify what's dead?
Ah, anything that is not adding value to your life, that you are not adding value to, is dead.
Mm,
That's me. Anything that does not add value, if it's not a contributing factor to helping you grow and get to the next level, you're dead. You're done.
mm. Just like that, huh? You cold. That's awesome. Okay. All
Well,
right.
I'll give an example. Last year I literally had to cut somebody off, and I'm a very if you know me, shout out to the DISC assessment. I am a DISC certified coach, and I am all about personal development. Personal development. What I do, I eat, breathe, sleep it, and this is something that is very important to me. And when people speak ill of your dreams, your aspirations, your anything. If they say an inkling of something wrong, they have to go. Like they got to go with the quickness. And I brought up the DISC assessment is because I am a high D and I am considered very abrupt, short, straight to the point, assertive. It may rub people the wrong way, but I'm very results oriented, and I'm always thinking about what is the end result, how do we get there. And so somebody spoke negative and ill, and I cut them off with the quickness. You can't go along with me on my journey. You have to go.
Today is the day, and now is the time. If you have a good idea, good intentions, and are looking for a way to get audience and to get your great message out to the world, I encourage you to start your very own podcast. You would be surprised the amount of folks who are waiting to hear your content. My name is Kidboy Cooper, and I have been an audio engineer for the past 7 years, and I am offering one-on-one coaching to help you get through the beginning stages of creating your very own podcast. Please reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. My email address is empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com. We offer one-on-one coaching, a live masterclass, and even a 10-module course that will take you through the entire process of creating, producing, and distributing your podcast to your very own listeners. This is a great avenue to connect with your audience and to connect with people who are in need of your voice. Again, reach out to me at empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com and let's get your podcast started today.
And that's just that's that. So anybody who speaks ill will, and you have to be careful too that you don't speak ill will, especially to the people that's close to you, that you're not stifling their dreams and you're not cutting things off, because then you would be the one who's not adding value. And so you have to be very careful as to what comes out of your mouth. And I want to say that especially to any parents out there who's listening, if you are not speaking life to your children, your kid's gonna end up cutting you off. You're gonna be dead to them. So you have to. Your words are very powerful. You want to watch who's speaking life to you and who's not, and who you are speaking life to and who you're not. And that'll help you to identify if you the dead weight, then you need to. That's where you need to self-reflect and start changing things around. If you are the one that needs to be cut off.
Oh, wow.
And that takes some. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot, because you got to turn that mirror on you. And if you be honest with yourself, I promise you can get set free.
Mm.
Yep.
Ooh. Ooh, you said a whole word there. You said sometimes
Okay.
you're the dead weight. You've
Mm-hmm.
been the one holding yourself and others back.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very hard to admit and very hard to accept.
Wow.
But the moment you embrace that, then you will be just fine.
Would you say that's the hardest part for people to overcome in their journey of healing and their journey of figuring it out?
Yeah, I would say that a lot of people, it's hard for them to accept the truth that you the one that's probably wrong. And I can only tell you that because I had to admit that truth to myself. And I'm telling you, it really, really, really hurts. But once you confront it and deal with it, when you get on the other side, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And so that's why I'm able to give out the energy that you see is very intentional, it's very real. You can feel it. If you just caught it right now, you see, you can feel that energy. So um, it's because when you get on the other side of the truth, it's beautiful. And
Mm.
so, but it's really hard to accept and come to grips with it. Um, but once you do, you'll be all right.
So tell me something that you really had a struggle with, something that you had to face yourself about. And how did you
Ah,
get to the other side? Because for myself and anybody listening, sometimes you get trapped. You got all the right intentions and you're going through the process, but you get trapped. Maybe you got a little turned around on something and you're just trying to get to the other side. You're open to it, right? You understand you got
mhm.
some things you got to work on, but how do you get to that other side? Like, tell me how have you done it? I want to hear how you doing it.
So I'm going to be very transparent, very open about my life because I believe when you are transparent, you set other people free. And and everything that I've gone through in my life, I believe that it's always to help and assist somebody else. And so when I went through my second divorce and I was sitting in my apartment and I had to come to grips with, ooh, Javon, I don't even like you. that was that
Mm.
was very, very that was the eye-opening moment when I had to sit there when the kids were gone and I just had to sit with myself. That is the most scariest thing because if you've never sat and dealt with yourself, um, that's one of the major things that you must learn how to do is to sit and deal with how you feel and about yourself. And quite frankly, I did not like myself. This was around 2014 and 2013, 2014. The divorce was finalized in 2014. And I didn't like myself, Kidway. I was ugh, like you got to change this. And so that's when the self-development journey for me really, really started. Like you have to, I deliberately sought out um ways to get that necessarily get that healing that I needed the most. I went through a divorce recovery class, which is a very, very crucial to help you to learn how to forgive swiftly, and that's what I did. And it allows you to get stuff like it that process was really good because it like uprooted some stuff, and then you start to see your ugly ways and your ugliness. And um like I said, once you pull all that stuff up, you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with the ugly. But then when you deal with the ugly, it's like, oh, okay, so I could choose something different. And so it was, I went through therapy actually last year and led into this year, which was flipping amazing. I am an advocate for therapy because it helps you to deal with those issues that you've been trying to bury for forever. And at some point in life, you're going to have to deal with them. So the quicker, the better. Um, that's what I did. I did a lot of reading and a lot of self reflection. And like literally taking the steps uh to change some of my ways. I used to because I used to yell a lot. Well, I still low key yell, but not as much as I used to yell. And I so I would buy little little what is it called? Like little prayer tins that had paper and then a pen and you write down stuff. And that type of stuff, that stuff really helps over time. Just to write out, who you want to become and then actually become that person. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
You said a couple things that I thought were really, really important. You said you have to be intentional to
Hmm.
get through whatever you're going through. It doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional. You have to
Very.
forgive yourself for even
Hmm.
being in the woods in the first place.
Yeah.
You have to seek counsel because you cannot do it all yourself.
Mm-mm.
And you have to self reflect and seek that development.
Yep.
That is,
And all that is intentional. Like it has to be on purpose. Like the fact if you pick up or search therapists in your areas and you actually book the therapist, that's action. That's action, that's putting you a step closer to the person that you are trying to become. And then when you get on the phone every day, you go to the office or however you meet your therapist, that is actual action. That's you putting things into action to become the better person. That's you confronting whatever it is that you didn't want to confront. And so you have to acknowledge that, okay, I'm taking these steps, and if I take these steps, the reward in the end is going to be going to be good. So
mm,
those are practical things I can tell you,
yeah,
just writing something down and looking at like those little 10 prayers. I would go back and look at it. I would actually write dates on it. So whatever prayer that was, Lord, please help me to stop yelling, or Lord, help me to be more gentle. Actually, that was more so of my prayer. I would like to be more gentle,
mm.
January 14th, 2015. Lord, please let me be more gentle. June 16th, 2015. Like, yeah. So get very intentional about and very, very specific about what it is that you actually want to change.
That's really, really great. That's really great. I hope y'all are enjoying this because this is so important. Half of the time, in my own experience, you get really caught up because you run out of steps. You
Hmm.
only have the tools that you've thought of to get you a certain point, and then you freak out because now you've lost track of what you're doing. Maybe the what you started doing is not working anymore, and that's how you get stuck. And I've been stuck many, many times. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important to have conversations with people like Javon, who literally have tools to help us get unstuck, who have the
Yeah.
tools to help us get through the rest of the portion. Because maybe you're doing all the right stuff, but maybe you just don't have any more tools. That's why coaching and things like that are so important because it's those tools. I know for myself, I think I'm a good human, whatever. But I also know that I can get stuck very easily. I'm a high C, on the disc assessment.
Yeah.
And so I analyze things a lot. And sometimes that's almost counterproductive. Sometimes I wish I didn't think as much because then
Yeah.
I won't see as many scenarios. I won't see as many opportunities and potential threats or s- outcomes, that may be unfavorable. So the idea of, you know, one of the things I'm working on right now is the forgiveness piece. I think I'm very intentional, but forgiving yourself for being in whatever position you're in the first place, because we can internalize those things and start a cycle of derogatory, and we become the dead thing, like you were talking about. Remember,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think I love your response to this. I wrote it down because I really believe in easy to execute exercises. I believe that we can break down complex topics and things into easy to execute steps. And your self development and your mind and the way you're thinking about things is really important. And so,
Yeah.
that's why when you're speaking, I'm like, intentionality, forgiveness. I'm trying to like get it down because these are literally the things that make us dead, right? We can't forgive ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We make too many excuses, so we can't be intentional. We won't admit that we're stuck, so we won't ever seek counseling. So we just
Yeah.
get this in this cycle. So, how has your life changed since you learned that? I know you've been doing this for forever. You the pro out here, you know what I'm saying? But how have you seen your life change since that moment in your apartment where you realized you didn't like yourself anymore? You know?
I think me being able to communicate better with others has drastically changed. I'm not perfect, you know. I still have some flaws, but overall, I've learned how to, because I know myself, I know how to, I know how to communicate better with other people to get the results um, that I'm looking for, and that is pretty much to create harmony, to to keep peace amongst people. I love to uh, bring a lot of morale in whatever it is that I'm doing, even at home, even at work, whatever I'm trying to do, just to keep people's spirits up. Because I realize energy is very real; people can feel it, and that's what I know about my energy. That's why it's intentionally positive. Because y'all don't want to see the opposite side, okay? It's kind of like I was explaining it to another young fellow on his podcast. It's kind of like, the X-Man Jean, the one that was like rage, like you make her angry,
Yeah, the
you about to
Phoenix.
feel it.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Okay, that's what you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel it. And I don't want y'all to feel that. And so I rather give this intentional positivity out versus the opposite. And so but it's changed dramatically. The opportunities because of the communication is what has those opportunities, doors are opening because my communication is very intentional and deliberate now. And so I'm getting some really good opportunities to come my way because of me bettering my communication. That's really what shifted.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you understand what's going on with you better so that now you can communicate that better?
Hmm. Yep. And then it becomes my job to communicate how things make me feel, how people made me feel,
Mm-hmm.
and just to be able to express it a little bit more. And but I still got a whole lot of I still have whole lot of work to do. That's why. So if you see me on social media, like I'm talking to myself as well. I'm not just talking to y'all. Like we all a part of this. It's just that I've been able to overcome and master some things in my life, but I still have work to do. So I'm still a student as well. But I
Yeah.
can't tell you to do something that I haven't done myself. Anything that I say, I've possibly done that, or in the process of doing it, already done it. And so I'm not going to tell you to do something that I have never done.
Amen to that. Amen to
Yes.
that. You can only teach what you know. You
Yeah.
can only teach what you know. I completely hear you there. Um, wow, that's a really really great insight. I'm loving all of that. That is. Now, how do people get in touch with you? How do they get a part of your club so they can hear more of this? Because I know you got to
Oh
go
my goodness.
eventually. And I do have
Yeah.
another question before you leave. You don't get to leave
Yes.
just yet, but I would love to know where we can get more of the insight and the tools and the things that you have.
So there are a lot of ways to stay connected with me. One, if you follow me on social media, don't you dare unfollow me because I know. No, Javon Stewart. That is JAVONNE Stewart STEWARD, and that is on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, and like connect with me there. Okay. And the reason why I bring up the whole unfollow thing, because nowadays y'all be having short attention spans, and people be, you be unfollowed because they didn't move you a certain type of way. You stick around because okay, I'm gonna move you. It may not be the way you want it, but I'm gonna move you to action. That is pretty much what you follow me for, is so that you can stay focused. If anything, that's what obviously my social media is used for you to know, like, and trust me. But it is to really push you in the direction of whatever it is that you're trying to do. That is there. And from my Instagram, you'll be able to connect to all of my links. JavonSteward.com, the No Excuse Today Club, which is a monthly membership. You meet live with me every single week, and we discuss leadership principles and soft skills. And it's pretty much like a weekly training. And that's where you can connect with me if you want to stay connected on a weekly basis. And I also offer one-on-one personal development sessions. And if you are interested, you just DM me and be like, hey, Javon, when can we get started? That's what I do. I just need about 4 weeks with people. I really don't need that long with you. Just really? About 4 weeks with you. I can get your mind all the way together. I actually prefer the shorter, the better, but it's a minimum requirement of 4 weeks. I don't believe in drawn out coaching sessions, first of all, because I'm not a therapist, okay? And if you need a therapist, I'm going to highly recommend that you get one.
Right.
Because I'm not that.
So self-development is different than therapy, just for the record.
Yeah, that is very true. Okay. It's very, very true. And some people don't know that there is a difference. Some people just want somebody to talk to. You just want somebody to talk to. You don't come to me. Because the way my DISC assessment is set up, I'm not here to listen to ongoing problems. I'm here to help solve the problem. If you're not ready to solve the problem, then you want to go talk the problem out with a therapist. I'm here when you want to move into action, when you want like stuff to get done. That's what I'm here for.
And you use the DISC assessment to help evaluate people and help people understand themselves. Can you tell us really quick what the DISC assessment is?
So the DISC assessment is a personality assessment that tells you how you prefer to show up to the world, how you prefer to make decisions, how you prefer to tackle problems, how you prefer to interact with people, how you prefer your environment, and how you prefer to follow rules, protocols, standards, and procedures, and all that good jazz. And so it's basically an assessment tool that can help you strengthen your communication, boost your productivity, create meaningful relationships with people. It is an overall great personal development assessment that can take you from point A to point B if you utilize it correctly. And the more you study about yourself, the better, the more you learn about yourself, the better you will be and everyone else around you. But you just can't get the assessment and not be ready to do the work. You have to do the work, and it is daily. It is daily.
This DISC assessment probably takes a long time to do if it tells you all of that.
Yeah. Actually, the DISC assessment, it literally is, I want to say, if you're good on your vocabulary, it should take you about less than 10 minutes to do, okay?
Okay.
But when you get the 22 pages, because that's what I offer, the DISC assessment is free to you guys. And if you want to take a DISC assessment, you can go right now in my Instagram bio. You'll see free personal assessment, something to that effect. You take that, you're going to get an email from me saying, hey, you took your assessment. Now book a session with me. Now the session ain't free, but I can help you break down that assessment and discuss how you could apply that in your life real time, and to help you to identify other personality types. So,
wow, that is incredible.
Yeah,
I need to get a part of your club or something.
You definitely do, Kidway, and anybody who's listening, it's $49.99 a month. Like, I don't know, that's what you have. And I have another phenomenal coach on there with me, my partner in crime, Mr. Kurt, and the connector. And he is a phenomenal coach. And so you guys are like, you getting leadership principles, you getting coaching, like we are a small community right now, but we will be growing. And I say take advantage while it's small. Now, before I get to them Lisa Nichols prices, y'all better jump on it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Get your money. Listen,
Yes.
before I let you go, and I know I gotta let you go soon, I would love to get a thought exercise from you. A thought exercise is just a small exercise, a personal excerpt or a poem or just something that you do that is personal that you use to kind of help you get through some tough moments when you're feeling stuck or when you're getting up in the morning or whatever your routine is like. And I understand, you don't want to give all your secrets away, but I just think it could be really, really helpful. You've already given us so much, and I would love to get a thought exercise from you. I'm going to give you just a moment to think about that. I'm going to run a really quick ad for myself, and then we'll do our thought exercise. Okay, that sound all right?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So if you are not sure, if you don't know where you are right now, you're listening to Empower You Podcast. And my name is Kidboy Cooper. Empower You Podcast is devoted to bringing real world wisdom and encouragement to our listeners, subscribers, fans, followers, anyone under the sound of my voice. And we believe that through tough conversations, we can share wisdom and pave the path to the future. And we do so by discussing a variety of topics from a economic, social, and cultural perspective. So I want you to join and subscribe and leave a 5-star review for Empower You Podcast. And if you are interested in creating your own podcast, in creating your own brand, as I have done, I want you to reach out to me. My email address is empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com. Give me a message. I would love to help you. I have created a suite of course work of digital products that will take you from a great idea to having a true and actual mission and a purpose behind what you are trying to do that embodies your gift and your talent into the world. And I will help you do that through podcasting. And I really can't wait to see what you create. So again, this is Empower You Podcast. And if you're looking to build your own platform with podcasting, this fantastic, easy to access platforms where hundreds of thousands of people are waiting for your message, I want you to reach out to me at empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com. Okay? All right. Javon, are you ready with our thought exercise? I'm trying to fix my camera too.
So I want you guys, if you are listening to me, if you listened the whole way, you heard that I grew up in foster care. I was a ward of the state of Illinois for 11 years of my life before I was adopted at the age of 16. I grew up in the city of Chicago, and if you know anything about the city of Chicago, it is a very tough city. And the city of Chicago actually shaped me partly shaped me into the woman that I am today. A few years ago, when I went through my divorce, I decided to write reasons why I won't fail. And I think it's very important that we have mental exercises to make sure that we stay tough mentally so that we will not break. And if you've been here since the beginning of the podcast, you heard me mention that I won't break, I won't fold. And this is partly one of the reasons why. I have a list of 12 and a half things, little statements that I can visibly see on my wall. Just actually pulled it off my wall to kind of share with you guys. 12 and a half reasons why I won't fail. And I used to say this over and over and over. And then I just decided to stick it up on my wall, because if you look at something, it becomes a part of you. And that's why I can say with so much confidence, I won't fail. And I want to encourage you to actually pick up a pen or pick up a pencil and a notepad and do the same exact thing, however you want to do it. If you want to do 5 and a half reasons, if you want to do 12, if you want to do 20, Just something where you can get it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and state the reasons why you won't fail. And so I'm going to list my 12.5 reasons of why I won't fail. And hopefully they will encourage you and empower you and get some fire up under your butt to go bust a move out here in these streets. Number one, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. That's Jeremiah 29:11. God knew us before we were born. And because of that reason, I will not fail. Number two, I am mentally tough. I have this idea that I cannot be broken. You can break my body, you can break the flesh, but you will never break the spirit. I am mentally tough. Three, I accomplish goals that I truly want to achieve. And that's something very, very important. We make excuses, maybe because it ain't something we really, really want to do. But when you really want to accomplish something, it will get accomplished. That's a reason I won't fail. Number four, I am self-motivated. I don't need people to come by and give me a little nudge and a little push. That fire is from within and it's from on high. I am self-motivated because I understand that I have purpose in this world and I must be about my Father's business and getting it done. Number five, I endure. Everything you go through in life is not meant to take you out. It's for you to endure. Why? So you can live to share the story. And that's why we're here today. Y'all hear this story. Now, number six, God is my strength. I can go anywhere on the face of this earth and I understand who I belong to. That God of mine is very strong. He is my strength. He is the source of my strength. I will not fail. Number seven, I remember scripture and I depend on it during my off moments. Let me explain something to you, especially for those who believe. There is going to come a time where we're not going to have paper, the Bible, and we're not going to have our phones. It got to be really etched in your heart. And when you have off moments, because we will have a lot of off moments in this walk, you're going to have to learn how to revert back to that scripture. That's why it should be etched and written in your heart. I will not fail. Number eight, because God won't let me fail. He won't let us fail. Now we might get a bruise or something, but he won't let us fail, especially if we serve him. We ain't failing. Number nine, here you go. God cannot fail. This keeps my mental, y'all. This really does keep my mental. God cannot fail. There's nothing that he can do anything but fail. Always remember that. Number 10, he chose me to do this very work. Understand that your path in life, God put you on that path for a reason. Every pain, every hardship you experience, it's for a reason. He specifically chose you. So if you've been molested, if you've been beaten, if you've been in foster care, if you've been talked about, if you've been lied, if you've been cheated, kicked down in a ditch, remember, God was like, hey, this one can handle that. Don't ever forget that. Number 11, I am a survivor. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to work harder. Don't ever forget that. And number 12, I am more than a conqueror. And this is my and a half. I believe God's word. That is all I got for you. I'm Javonne Stewart, founder of No Excuse Today. Y'all make sure y'all get y'all mind right. No excuse today. No excuse today.
Hey, listen, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Oh my goodness. You are truly inspiring. Thank you so much for being here with us and talking to us about burying our dead, even if it's us, even if you got to put yourself on timeout. You got to get it right.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. That was great. I wrote that down. Make a list of reasons why you won't fail. I'm gonna do that.
Why you won't fail? Just think about it. It's gonna require some mental work. Like why you won't fail.
That's right.
You won't fail. You won't.
That's right. Oof, that's great. Javon, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Do you want to say anything to the people real quick before we end this?
Hey, no excuse today. Get your mind right. Let's stay connected. I'm a very direct person now. Very direct. Don't be trying to, 5'2" in stature, but I'm 6'1", 6'3" in the spirit. Don't play around with it. So you really want to get your mind right. You want to be around some inspiration, positivity, some motivation to get you on the right track. Then come follow your girl, because that's what I'm here for. Here to help.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. That's Javon Stewart. Thank you again. Thank you again to everybody listening. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you think of this episode. Leave a comment. Go follow Javon. Go follow Javon Stewart on Instagram, Facebook. Go to her website. Become a part of her group. And let's make the progress that we deserve. Let's not fail intentionally. Okay. I will talk to y'all a little bit later. Peace. Empower You podcast is devoted to bringing real-world wisdom and encouragement to our listeners. We discuss a multitude of life principles and the process from an economic, cultural, and societal perspective. We believe that through tough conversations and shared wisdom, we can pave the path and leave a ladder for the future. Subscribe to our channel and let us empower you.